I'll never forget the feeling of sitting on the curb outside that tiny airport in southern Italy, my phone at 2% battery, no Wi-Fi, and my bank card locked. I just sat there, staring at my bag like it could magically help me, wondering what the hell I was going to do. This wasn't part of the plan. None of it was. I'd been backpacking through Europe, super budget style. You know, hostels, cheap flights, eating too much bread and cheese because it was all I could afford. And honestly, it had been going great until it wasn't. I just arrived in Bari, this gorgeous little port town, ready to take a ferry to Greece. But when I went to buy my ticket, my card declined. Tried again. Declined. Checked my banking app and boom, locked for suspicious activity. Which I guess makes sense from a fraud perspective, but still. I called the bank. They were like, "We need to verify your identity. Can you receive a text?" Nope. My SIM didn't work there. They said to upload a document through the app, which I couldn't do because, again, no Wi-Fi and my battery was dying fast. So here I was, sitting outside an airport in a random city where I didn't know anyone, didn't speak the language, couldn't pay for food or a place to stay. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't starting to freak out. I could feel my chest tightening. I was already hungry, tired, sweaty, and now genuinely worried. I hadn't told anyone where I was going next. I didn't want to worry my parents back home, and my friends were all scattered across different time zones. It was this weird mix of panic and shame, like, how did I end up here? And then I remembered something. Back before the trip, when I was obsessively Googling what you actually need when backpacking Europe, I read a blog post that casually mentioned travel insurance. And one of the commenters, some random person I'll never meet, said something like, "Don't skip insurance." I got stuck in Spain once and Auras saved me. I remembered that name. Auras. I'd signed up for it on a whim, thinking I'd probably never need it. I dug through my inbox, found the confirmation email, and thank God they had 24/7 support. I clicked the link. Still worked. Live chat. Even with 1% battery, I got a message through. I told them everything. They were calm, kind, and incredibly fast. Within 30 minutes, they had arranged a one-night stay at a nearby hotel, booked a cab to take me there, and offered a small emergency cash advance I could pick up the next morning with just my passport. I honestly cried. In a literal Italian cab. The driver kept asking me if I was okay, and I just nodded because I couldn't even explain in words how relieved I was. The next day, after I charged everything up and got online, I sorted things with my bank. But if it weren't for that little backup plan in my inbox, I don't know what I would have done. I know people think of travel insurance as like for lost luggage or when your flight's delayed. But in that moment, it was more like someone stepping in and saying, "Hey, you're not alone. We've got you." That feeling being seen, being helped without judgment, it stays with you. So here's the little tip I'd pass on to literally anyone planning a trip. Don't assume everything will go smoothly. Even if you're a planner, even if you're careful, especially if you're traveling solo, stuff goes wrong. You lose access to money. You miss a train. You get food poisoning. The difference between it being a nightmare and just a story you survive is having even one safety net. And for me, that's been auras.insure. You can Google it or check the link below. I'm not being paid to say this. It's just a thing I use now, like sunscreen or a power bank. It gave me peace of mind when I needed it most, and that's worth way more than the few bucks a month I paid. If you're heading anywhere soon, just consider it. Seriously, better to have it and not need it than to be stuck in some airport cafe eating your last granola bar, wondering how you're going to make it through the night. Trust me on that.